And like I was saying before, the stuff about giving the people chasing Mackie credibility, like that, I think that is such an overarching concern for the show. I think there's an awareness of that, which is both why they were kind of quick to push Aceveda out of the captain's chair in the first season or two.
Yeah.
But then also why they kept sort of backing off from actually putting Claudette in charge. Because, Claudette is like just pure credibility and confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
And that erodes so quickly if she spends an entire season like actively chasing Vic and failing at it. Because you take away the competence and the credit, like what's left of that character? And probably not that much.
They struggled with that in season 3 when they kind of gave her a half promotion or whatever they did.
Yeah,
for a little while. Yeah.
But season 3, the other thing they did, I don't know if you guys remember this about season 3, but they raped Aceveda.
Oh yeah. Previously on the Shield.
But this, looking at Kavanaugh and him through that lens, like it made me think of the rape differently, and in an interesting way. I think like, okay, so the rape stuff doesn't get a lot of direct play in season 5, right? I mean, it's, of course, like it's really central to how all these dominoes started falling, and it's still there. But part of it is like by the 3rd season, and they knew they had to move Aceveda out of the barn for the reasons that we talked about. He just run into one too many walls that Vic had painted a tunnel on, right?
Yeah.
And especially like around that time, like we're not really clear how long the show is going to go on. You can't just have him chasing the strike team over and over and making it Dukes of Hazzard. But having him go through that, it's weird because being raped on screen is this enormously like emasculating thing. It's what the character is struggling with for seasons after that. I'm sure it was hard for the actor to go through with that. The concerns about like, will the audience ever respect this character again? The show even personifies that reaction in his wife's terrible response when he tells her about it. But actually, I was thinking about it. There's a weird way in the world, in the context of the Shield, where it lets us respect the character more in an odd way, because I'm sorry, that sounds like a terrible thing to say in a way, but it provides a compelling reason why he's not going to be the one to bring down the strike team, right? It's not just he's too purely incompetent to pull it off. It's now that he's hugely distracted, and then he's hugely compromised by the things he does in response to all this other stuff going on.
Yeah,
and like
some murder. He did some murder.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It allows him to play in Vic Mackey territory, because then after that, he's the guy gunning down bad guys and, pretty much cold blood. Like actually the way he like stages the convenience store shooting is very similar to how Vic puts down Margos at the end.
Oh yeah.
Of the season.
That's right out of that playbook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also the one to be like, now he's the guy pulling the wires out of the camera in the interrogation room, and he's cutting backroom deals with Antoine. And in this, sort of twisted, hyper masculine milieu of the Shield, like that makes him more like a full character on the Shield rather than somebody who's just waving his finger ineffectually at the show from the sidelines.
It's true.
Well, there's one moment that I love with Aceveda in this season is when him and Kavanaugh are grilling Lem, and basically it's the first time that Aceveda realizes that Lem really doesn't know anything about the Crowley murder. I think, man, that's what an awesome scene, and Benito Martinez just crushes it in that scene. That's a great Aceveda moment. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But do you buy that either Aceveda or Kavanaugh did not know, like genuinely thought going into that Lem knew?
I don't know.
Or that they believe it even? I think they had this set up like whether Lem is in or out or not, we need to offer him this as his escape ramp. Hatch.
That's interesting. I'm not sure whether they think that going in or not. There's a hint of theater to that scene for sure. There's a hint of theater to a lot of scenes in this season. Everyone's kind of putting on a bit of performance scene to scene here because of The Wire, because for a variety of reasons. I'm not entirely sure in that scene. The show does not tell you, does not go out of its way to let you know, and I love that. I think it's fantastic, and it gets a little muddy because is it Benito Martinez and Forrest Whitaker who are the good actors there, or is it Aceveda and Kavanaugh who are delivering performances? It muddies it up a bit, and you can't tell. I love that scene. That's Aceveda's
Yes.
best moment of the season. Yeah.
Yeah,
What it is,
agreed.
it's rare. The show is all about getting muddy, but it is very rarely about ambiguity. That's not really the Shield's thing.
No.
But in that case, is one where it is generally ambiguous, and I think works better for it.
Yeah. There's a lot of this is a show that with a lot of moral tests that get failed frequently. I don't know offhand. I can't really think of many that get passed at all. But yeah, Aceveda certainly blows those many times along the way. I'm almost surprised that nothing more happens to him in the end. Well, we won't get into that yet. I don't remember the exact nature of everything, but yeah, he's got.
I think
he's got real
once
blood
you
on his
get
hands.
past the rape, it's easier to feel like, well, he's gotten his comeuppance already. Even if it's like before he
Sure,
did
yeah.
whatever he does in the season 6 or
Preemptive.
7. Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
we
enough.
don't really need to dump more on that character at this point.
Yeah.
Even if, like I said, I really honestly think there's a very strange way where, as horrifying and degrading as it is to see that character abused by the grimy goblin of a one-off villain there, it's somehow less degrading than to our, like, the audience's perceptions than just watching him get outfoxed by Vic season after season after season. And I think it has to do with, like, the strike team stuff is the narrative core of the series. And
Yeah.
rape stuff, like, this is immediate and sickening and confronts more, like, relevant issues perhaps to our day-to-day lives than robbing Armenian money trains or forcing gang members to fight to the death in a shipping container. It's still not. It's still off to the side of the show. The narrative core of the show is a strike team and their craziness, and how Aceveda relates to that somehow, I think, is more important to how we view him overall than whatever hangups we have about homosexuality and sexual assault and whatever else.
Yeah. I mean, it's an extreme thing that he has to endure, and it really defines the character basically through the whole show. Like you said, it doesn't even really come up much in dialogue this season. It's certainly there; it's always there, but it is a massive motivating factor, and it has changed him completely because now he is complicit in these ways. He knows kind of what he's talking about, or what Vic is talking about at all times, because he's boy, I'm getting into, like, bad language here. It's not the rape that stains him.
It's his response to that.
Yeah.
He
breaks bad, whatever.
Right.
He has something to cover up now, like they do.
Yeah,
sure.
But it's in response to something that we don't blame him for in the same way. We can't blame it for it the way we can the strike team. We blame them for their shit because they really dug their own grave.